All right. I'm here up Porcupine Creek Road, and I'm getting ready to do a 48-mile ride in the upper Swan that I mapped out. So from here, I'll start out and go down this little side road and on Porcupine Creek Road and go straight to the highway. I have to do about 2 miles down to Silly Creek Road. And then when I get on Silly Creek Road, I'll go down a ways and give us a little more video. I'll try to make this one a little more detailed. I'll even try to get my phone where I can ride it a little bit and record that. Anyhow, I'll see you up the road. Forgot to mention, I'll be pulling this gorilla cart. Now, I've pulled gorilla carts before, but never one this big. And they tend to sway a lot. I'm hoping this one doesn't. I pulled a gorilla cart once for 62 miles. But we'll see how that goes too. All right, I had to film this. We're almost, there's a Silly Creek Road turnoff, but this road, and I didn't know this until I mapped this out on Google Maps. They even said, this is pretty wild. So this road is down where the supposed secret laboratory is that Arizona sent their supposed fraudulent ballots to sort out. And it even says it's a high-tech secure laboratory on Google Maps. And then there's a little thing that says that on the side if you click on it. All right, well, that's some kind of interesting information right before I turn off the highway. Okay, this is where Silly Creek Road goes, and it's gated. And then this is some kind of a new road. It's not really that new anymore, but what was it? It was like a development road, 97 something or other. I can't remember. I have it written down. So that's where I got to go from here. And this will eventually turn into the old Squeezer Loop Road. All right. All right, I got quite a ways down this development road and run into this old sign. Boy, this has been here forever. Pretty familiar with this area, but I've never been on this particular road. And I'm not going to read it all, but it's a forest management sign. And people way back in the day planted all this in 1971. Anyhow, yeah. So here's still continuing down this this development road. And come from that way. And once I get to another crossroads or whatever, I'll turn the video back on. All right, I forgot to mention, I'm still at this little intersection here. And this bigger gorilla cart does way better. It doesn't hardly sway around. So that's been going pretty good. Everything's been going pretty good so far. It's a good thing I wrote this stuff down because there was a couple confusing places, but right here I actually take a right-hand turn, not a left, according to what I wrote down. And I tried to memorize all that. There's just a lot of roads up here. Like I said, I'm familiar with it, but not this particular area too much. All right, we'll probably head down this way, and I'll stop again when I get to the old Squeezer Loop Road. All right, I decided to pull into this Soup Creek campground. This is to take a little video. This looks like a really nice place to camp right here. There's a few spots like this. There's road coming in, and a little cement picnic bench over here, and we got a little fire pit. But I'll be heading out soon. I just wanted to show you guys this and the way in. All right, this road's pretty sweet, and I tried one of those GoPros out, but the vibration of I used to ride motorized bikes. I would always break them out, and I'm sure this would be much different. So just using this phone, but this road's pretty sweet for a backwards. I'm gonna do a little video riding it, hold the phone. So this is still the Goat Creek head across road to Squeezer, and when I wrote down that right-hand turn, that was definitely not correct. And I noticed that right away. Luckily, I pretty much had memorized this route. I said it was left hand there. So I took the left hand and we're on our way. A little tired today, so I'm kind of having a little bit of a hard time. You know, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I wanted to make this quite early because it's going to get hot. Now the clouds are starting to go away. You know, I don't want to overheat the mini bike, but boy, this is like a nice ride so far. When I cross that Skinny Cane and get up there around Patty Creek, it gets pretty rugged. I've been up there. So this is what it's like riding the back road on a mini bike. All right, we made it to Goat Creek Road, and we're at the end of this cut across road. Now this, I don't know. My directions are a little deceiving, but I'm pretty sure this is Old Squeezer, and that's the way I'm going to be going. Anyhow, we're going to take a little break here, I think, and continue on shortly. All right, now that I looked around, I realized that this is actually not Old Squeezer. Oop, this is, it's hard to see that sign, but it's Forest Service Road 9530. And where I wrote that down, it's a good thing I brought this directions with me. I knew because there's just so many roads back here. But I got to take a right-hand turn and go down Goat Creek Road a little ways, and then we'll hit the Old Squeezer loop. So yeah, I'll be going down. Now here's where I pulled up. We don't want to go up here. So I'll be going down this, but not for very far. And then I'll take a left. So I figure people that are going to watch my little YouTube videos are going to like to see me ride. And so here we are on Goat Creek Road. And it shouldn't be too far to Squeezer at this point. It's further than I thought, but it can't be much further. So I'm going to video me riding to Squeezer from here, the Old Squeezer Loop Road. Now they graveled this, but luckily, you know, it's kind of wore off the sides. But that's one thing, even with a mini bike. And I used to ride motorized bike. Like when they do that, that's kind of my enemy. But we're doing good. This road's not too bad. So I'll continue and I'll do a little video. Old Squeezer Loop Road. So back in the day, I lived in this valley. Used to peel logs. Sorry, my last video when I was riding cut out. I guess a wrong button got hit. Too bad because I was coming down on an Old Squeezer Loop Road, which is this. And here you have the sign. They put up some new signs because damn locals, I used to live here, been taking them down, you know, and that's uncalled for. Just leave the signs alone. You know, people are going to come up here no matter what, and not many people come up here anyways. But here's the Squeezer Loop Road, and we're going to be heading down it now. There's an interesting thing down here, and I can't remember exactly where it's at, but there's like this little walkway thing with these like wooden statue things that they made a long time ago. And I used to come up here when I lived here back in the day. with this friend of mine, Drew, and we walked through that a couple times. And yeah, I miss Drew. But yeah, so you come in this way, and I've been on this road a few times, but it's been a really long time. I don't live down here anymore. And, you know, it's really cool, man. The Swan Valley is really cool. So this is what the road's going to look like. And I thought since my video cut out, we'll do a little video of me riding it. All right, we're going to take off right now. I'm not really going to stop here. Well, the dependable Coleman mini bike starts right up. All right, so we're going to come up here. I think this is Squeeze the Creek for this shot. All right, we're video. Cool. Here's the bridge to Squeeze the Creek. Cool spot. I like to videotape creeks. And I'm going to cut it down off here to just take a little picture of the creek. Cool. I just stopped for a second. I thought I'd film this. So in Montana, they give you these permits to ride these around. They're good on these roads. You don't even have to have a license plate. They're off highway vehicle. Now, you know, I do my best to obey the law, but there's a few miles I gotta get on the highway to do this ride, but not, I think it's a total of 4 miles out of 48 miles. So, you know, I'm gonna have fun and I'm not worried about that. Anyways, my bike's running and I'm headed out. I guess I'll film just a little more of this Squeezer Loop Road ride. So I'm pretty sure this is that spot where the weird statues and stuff are. I'm gonna walk over here and see. It's all overgrown now. Man, I haven't even been back in that spot for like 14 years at least. But yeah, this is, if it is, it'll be worth a little walk through it. I think it is. There's an old metal thing here. There used to be like these wooden owls and stuff, but I don't know if they're here anymore, man. That was a long time ago. And nobody really knows about it. It's like a little boardwalks and stuff. I'm almost positive this is a spot. I guess we're gonna find out. Wait, there's some mosquitoes. Make this quick. Let me shut it off for a second. I'm pretty sure this is the spot. I'm not positive, but it's all overgrown now. There's just, and it's full of mosquitoes, so I'm not gonna go through it. I wish I could, and pretty sure this stuff is down that way. I don't know. I think this is a spot, but there's the old sign up here still. There's no sign, and where that post is, I believe there was like a wooden owl. If you go down this, there's like actually a wooden boardwalk and stuff, but man, I ain't gonna brave a bunch of mosquitoes and brush to get to it. Anyhow, looks like this is the old sign. Pretty sure this is the spot, I think. You know, and so there's nothing even there anymore. This is like way back in the day, I guess, like in the 50s and stuff. It was like a little bird walk thing, you know, way up here in the middle of nowhere. And if I remember right, on this post there was a wooden owl they carved out of a piece of wood and set on there, and there was more of that kind of stuff down there. Well, that's it, because I'm headed out to my mini bike. So this is Squeezer Creek, I think. Pretty cool, huh? And for the middle of summer, it doesn't seem to lose a lot of water. Pretty cool little waterfall there. And we're stopped on the bridge. So there it is on this side. That's neat. And I don't know, we're getting toward the highway, I think. Might still have a little ways to go. And then I'll have to go down the highway 2 miles, Piper Creek Road, and that'll be the second half of the ride. Well, we'll take a little more video. This goes up into the woods. We've got some cedar trees around. This is a neat spot. There's like a huckleberry picker over there. But yeah, nice little kind of rapids here. Block the sun. There you go. Look at that. Neat, huh? So we're taking a little break at Squeezer Creek, and I thought I'd have a sandwich and a nice cold beer. There's a reason I carry this cooler around with me. And it's been riding pretty good back here. I got this ratchet strap I tie it down with. There's my pack, the bite, and here's the bridge. It goes across Squeezer Creek. Hopefully it's a Squeezer Creek. I'm almost positive it is, or I've given some misinformation if not. But it wasn't something I really noticed on the map. But yeah, it's a pretty nice little brook. And what's really cool about it is, I mean, it hasn't hardly rained in a long time. It looks like this creek pretty much holds the same level all the time. Doesn't go down. That means it comes from way up in some high mountain spring water, way up in the Swan Mountains. And we already seen the little waterfall over here. Goes down this little log jam. Yeah, this is pretty neat. And so here we are in the middle of nowhere, and I will continue shortly. Well, I looked at my little directions here, and well, this is not Squeezer Creek, it's Goat Creek. I think Squeezer Creek runs into it. And it looks like right after this, I'm going to go onto the highway. So I'm like, well, a third of the way into this ride. So I run into a little sign about 2-3 miles from Goat Creek, and it says Highway 83, 2.8 miles. So yeah, we're getting close to the second part of the ride. All right, I made it to the Swan River on Piper Creek Road. Some people floating the river down here, and this is the second part of my adventure here. I got quite a ways to go yet, but I probably covered, oh geez, at least 22 miles. And this second part might be a little further. You know, the whole thing's 48, so I figure I've covered at least 20 miles. And we got the Swan River. We're gonna be headed up this way, a little ways up Piper Creek Road, and then there's the Fatty Piper Cut Across. And that spot's a little tricky, so I gotta make sure I go the right way. Well, here I am at Piper Creek, and there's a little bridge going across it. We're only gonna go a short ways up the road before I take a right on the cut across Piper Fatty Cut Across Road. I do a little video here and then actually keep the camera on while I take off. For some reason, this started swaying more, but it's going to sound kind of funny, but I found it's better off if I just ignore it. It doesn't wreck, so whatever. So I'm going to take off. Start her up. Pretty good road. Whoa. Hey, there's an address, 1770 Piper Street. Still got to go to the Connor Post Office to get your mail. Well, this might be actually the wrong way with this thing. So we're headed up, because it is in Lake County. We're headed up Piper Creek Road. I know the mailman doesn't come out this way though. Pretty funny little piece of private property right there. You'll see that. But once I get up here any further, there won't be any of that. Got mile marker 2 on Piper Creek Road. Head towards the Piper Fatty Cut Across. Don't want to keep going until there's up Alright, we're moving now. Trailer's playing behind me. Here we go. Good flow. That'll change. When I got on Piper Creek Road, that's the part I'm on the car. We'll see what happens. That would be approaching 7,000 road. Film a couple miles here for you. Looking at the distant mountains going this way. Distant mountains over this nice high ground back in there. That's quite the wild area. I don't hike anymore. I'm too old. That's what I do now. This covers so much more ground than hiking. And you know, I've only seen a couple of bicyclists off of other than the highway. I haven't seen anybody driving, not one person. So here we are, you know, other than the highway, we're like 23, 24 miles into the ride. Haven't seen any cars driving on the back road. See two cars, one at the Sioux Creek campground, one picking huckleberries or something. We're going up the corner. This is an awesome Sunday afternoon in July. Here we go. We're right on schedule. I was supposed to hit Piper Creek Bridge around noon, and I did. And now I'm going on one, headed up this way. Oh, it's taking a minute, so I think I'm going to shut it off. You know, I don't want people to get bored with anything on here. Okay, I guess I should have left that little ride on because it only took a minute. And I made it to the Fatty Creek Cut Across Road, road number 10381. And we're not going to really stop here. It's getting hot, and I'm going to head down in a ways before I take a break. Okay, so these flowers are reformed in the middle of the road. It just goes on and on like this. About 3 miles into the isn't that beautiful? All those flowers. And there's a few on the side, but they're really nowhere else but in the middle of the road. All right. We got out to Fatty Creek Road. There's no signs that say that, but this is Fatty Creek Road, and there's where I came from. And it's road number 10,182 Forest Service Road. Now, this is a part that I've not been looking forward to. And I actually mapped this the other way, planning on coming up this, but man, either way, it's just gonna suck. Look at this, and it gets steep. I'm probably gonna just shut the bike off, and I don't have like the greatest brakes, and go down the son of a bitch. But yeah, and it's gonna be like this the whole way. All right, cool. I forgot about this spot from years ago. This is a spring, and it never gets any smaller. It doesn't matter how bad of a drought there is. This always runs the same. And this is a really cool spot. There's a couple of these down this way, if I remember right. It's been a long time since I lived here. And yeah, there's my mini bike and my cart making our way down Piper Creek Road. We come down that son of a bitch. But you know what? I ride this road with my friend Red, called Canyon Creek Road, and I would say this is no worse than that. So, that being said, let's take a look at this. This is pretty cool. So this spring, it comes down this mountain, and I don't know if it's part of Fatty Creek, but it is beautiful, and it's all mossy. Yeah, this is a good spot. Nice and cool here. And it's getting hot. All right, we got a nice little video of this little waterfall and this moss. Comes down here. We got a little culvert that goes under the road. Ah, yes. Sweet. Boy, look at this. So I'm sitting here at the spring still on Fatty Creek Road, drinking an ice cold beer, and I'm putting this out there to my buddy Red. I wish he was with me. You'll see him on one of these trips, but he's kind of shy, you know. He might be wearing a bandana or whatever, trying to cover himself up. But you can't mistake him because he's a left-handed redhead. Anyways, we won't get into that, but this is a beautiful place. All right, this is pretty cool. But I told you about Fatty Creek Road. Only on Fatty Creek Road will you see a spring coming out of the road. So yeah, there's a spring coming out of the road, and here it goes, you know, down this way. And we got a little creek through our road. Not a big deal. And off yonder it goes to the right. All right, I thought I'd show you guys this because I told you about Fatty Creek Road, yeah? I've only seen that in Canada, and that road was something else. But yeah, we'll continue down this. All right, I had to stop here because even though this is like the most rugged part of the ride, it's probably the most beautiful part of the ride. And here's the main part of Fatty Creek, coming down out of Fatty Lake. And this here's another one of those springs. Part of it come out of the road that I just showed you, coming from up there. There's a series of springs that all comes into Fatty Creek. Anyways, this gem, I mean, look at that. Comes right down out of those cedar trees. Oh, that is beautiful. So here's the other side of Fatty Creek coming out of the bottom of the road, out of a pipe that they made, and it continues on down. And so that is Fatty Creek, and we're still headed down Fatty Creek Road, and we come down that where the spring come out of the road, and we got this part of that is the spring that come out of the road, and beautiful Fatty Creek. So it's pretty hot out, so I got under these trees, and I'm going to give you a good video where Fatty Creek comes down from the cedars, and that comes out of some really wild country. There's a lake up there, like I said, called Fatty Lake, and it is not easy to find. It's not on the marked trail, and you have to know where it is. And this is the creek that comes out of it. It comes down into that culvert. Isn't that cool? Yeah, anyways, I hang out in the shade here for a second. Look at this, I'm going to film this as it goes under this culvert. Be real careful not to drop my phone or fall in. Wow, that's awesome. Down in that culvert. That's a good video there, right? So here we are, going down the last part of Fatty Creek Road, and it's not bad now, and it shouldn't be too far before Whitetail Creek Road. We're coasting, figured I'd throw this in. People have an idea what it's like to ride down these roads. All right. All right, we're 2.5 miles from the highway, which means we're taking a left on that Whitetail Creek Road real soon. Um, something I wanted to mention coming down this thing um, is that I'm not too far away from my truck. All right, this is the end of the Fatty Creek part, and I'm going to go down Whitetail Creek Road there. Some I forgot to mention. This part that I just rode on Fatty Creek and quite a ways down that way is part of the Ride the Divide route that bicyclists ride it and other people. But in June, they race it all the way from Banff, Alberta to the New Mexico border somewhere near Taos or something like that, I think. I mean, I got to give it to those guys that they do that. And this is part of it. They go up that son of a bitch. I came down and they come from this way. Anyhow, this is going to be pretty much my last big break from the last part of the ride. This will eventually merge into the two upper and lower Porcupine Creek roads, and I'll take the lower one. I think the upper one's gated. You don't want to go up there. You just end up in, yeah, boo-foo nowhere. So here we have my setup, and we're doing good. This is going to be my big break. I'm going to drink the big beer and eat the raviolis. And my bike's been being very dependable. I've been taking it easy, and we will continue. It's getting hot now. We'll continue to my truck this way. Probably, I don't know, maybe 10 more miles or something. Well, the DNRC truck just went by, and I didn't really want to talk to him, and he just headed down the road. So maybe there is a fire they're looking for. Anyways, I don't see any smoke, but he headed down the way I'm going. So we're crossing Woodward Creek now. It's a pretty good sized stream. It stays pretty full. Hasn't really went down. Yep, and this is Whitetail Creek Road. This is Woodward Creek we're crossing. And only stopping here for a minute. We're getting toward the end of this trip. Now we're running into one of the old locals. Yeah, so we're heading down the last part of Lower Porcupine Creek Road. And we're in a place local back to San Ferry. And I went to school with his brother. I've met him before. And he's supposed to be stopped up here driving a dirt bike. Yeah, pretty wild. So, back in the middle of nowhere. And he's one of these guys, I mean, Sam Perry, where he's from, they have their own accent. I shit you not. Anyways, we're going to head down this road, and I see him again. Stop. Not too far from my truck at this point. Film, right. Well, we're basically at the end of the ride. Here's the Swan River down on Porcupine Creek Road. Coming across, and I made it to this bridge. And I don't have even a half mile more to go. We'll go up a little ways and turn left where my truck is. So I'm at the very end of the ride finally. Come back to the truck. Just pull up the truck. Set up this how I load everything. Real this whole ride takes a hard. And done with this ride. I'm ready for 48 and a half miles. Finishing it up. probably with the side road about time. Ready for it. Long way. And ever. Alright. We're a yard. Hiking trail here. Goes back that way. Right. We made it to the Dodge. We are done with this ride. I'll film a little bit of how I loaded up. All right, now comes the fun part. I made it back to the truck, and the first thing we're gonna do is run this gorilla cart up those ramps, set it on its side, and strap it down. All right, now we're gonna load the mini bike. And I like to put the ramp upside down because then the wheels don't come off of the ramp. People don't agree with me on that. So that it will be the next step. All right, we got the mini bike loaded and the gorilla cart. Now all I got to do is put the ramps in and the cooler in. Well, the biggest hassle is over with, loading up after the ride. That's always fun. And you're all wore out, but it's all in here. And there's the cooler. And old Dodge ready to pull out.